Hello viewers, we are at the Hilton Garden Inn in Mississauga where the Ontario Premier Doug Ford has gathered all the ethnic media members, and he has made a huge announcement saying that he really values the good work that ethnic media does, and it is very unfair that they don't get their fair share of advertising. So the work is being done on this, and soon the good news will be given to them. There is a lot more about this gathering, so let's have a look.
First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. Very familiar faces in the room. I want to acknowledge our all-star MPPs, our whole caucus team, and what an incredible team we have. And as Parm was saying, the most diverse team that I've ever seen at Queen's Park ever, representing right across the Toronto and the GTA, representing almost every background, culture, race there is. My friends, sat back over the last little while, and since we took office, I was asking our communications people, I said, something's not fair here. Why is it the mainstream media gets all the funding? That's not right. So I'm here to announce that that's changed. As far as I'm concerned, these insurance companies are gouging people. They are. How can you pay more if you live out, for example, in Brampton, than you would in Etobicoke? It's unfair. So we have a whole group together, round table, and we're going to make sure that we hold them accountable and lower prices. But I'll be able to get back to you on more details. Okay, but it's absolutely on our radar, 100%. What we're doing, we're reviewing the process, and you're all going to be informed exactly how we can distribute the advertising for the province, because it has to be proportional. And right now, if you look at the CBC, CTV, Global, and all the rest of the big guys, they take all the money. And other media outlets, the other newspapers too. So that's not fair. And we're going to make sure, yes, they'll still get some, don't get me wrong, but finally, we're going to make sure it's proportional and representative of our communities right across the board. And you look at the numbers of the ethnic media. If you add them up, they're a lot larger than the CBCs and the CTVs and the Global and the cities and the newspapers. You look at the Star, Sun, Globe. I hope I didn't leave anyone out there, but it was never representative. It was always to them. So I can't wait to make sure that we get the advertising funds equally spread across hopefully everyone in this room. And well, no, it's appreciated. Thank you. I love the ethnic media. Now I'll tell you the reason why. You folks are real. You're real. You get it. And it all started back with my brother Rob. That's where it started. I remember back with Rob, and many years ago, and I think all of you or most of you have been in the backyard and shared time with our family. And I just want to tell you how grateful I am for not just the job you do, making sure that you get the message out to your community, but for our friendship over the years. And I'm very, very grateful.
What next we can see in the province coming?
Really, there's three things that really, really matter. There's probably 1,000 things that matter to people, but three is healthcare. That we have an incredible team. We have an incredible minister, Minister Elliott, and our goal is to make sure that we end hallway healthcare. We're increasing funding by $1.9 billion to healthcare. That's more money than any other government in the history of Ontario. The second is education, and we're increasing that by, is it 1.2 billion? $1.2 billion. That's more than any other government has ever put towards education. And ask the minister to elaborate on education. But the third is one of the most important, our jobs. Before we took office, there was 300,000 families and people that didn't have a job. Now we came up with the job numbers in December, another 25,000. That's 296,000 jobs that we created the environment to have companies hire people, invest, reinvest, and we're going to continue growing the economy and making sure our province booms and everyone sees prosperity. And that's what we're going to focus on, really the economy, healthcare, education. You take care of the economy, and it takes care of a lot of other things, because we put more money into people's pockets, into companies. That's more revenues up to Queen's Park. When we have more revenues, we get to increase spending in education and in healthcare. I'll just speak on education for 30 seconds here. No matter where I go in the province, and just even on the weekend, I've been up to Parry Sound, over to Huntsville, over to Barrie, and everything in between. Just common people come up to me, and they're all saying the same thing. Do not give in to the teachers. Yes. Do not give in to them. We're going to treat them fairly, because teachers are important. I differentiate between the teachers and the unions. And in other words, don't give in to the unions, because for 30 years, they've went after every single party, every single premier. But our most important area is make sure that children have a safe environment to go to school in, and that we treat our teachers fairly. I really do. I'm a strong believer, and I know the minister is about treating the teachers fairly. But when all the other employees of the province are making 1%, another group shouldn't be making double that amount. Everything is fair, because we have to get this debt paid down, the deficit paid down, and I have all the confidence in the world in Minister Lecce and our entire team to make sure that we get the kids to stay in the classroom, get these deals done, and we'll move forward. But again, thank you very much.
Infrastructure, what is the budget like?
So we're spending, again, more money than any government in the history of Ontario, $144 billion over the next 10 years, which is absolutely staggering. We're focusing on infrastructure of roads, bridges, highways, transit. We're putting the largest transit project together in North America right now, over $28 billion subway plan. And we're also focusing on two other infrastructure areas, which are new schools. As the previous government was closing schools, I think, how many, 600 was it? Yeah, 600 over 600 schools, the Liberals closed. Well, we're building new schools, we're building new hospitals, and we're going to continue to make sure that we pour money into infrastructure. You could never go wrong if you put money into infrastructure.
I stand against these strikes by the unions. They have to stop keeping kids out of class. I announced a new plan to put money in the pockets of families when there's strikes, to help kids, to help their families financially, up to $60 every day. You can sign up right now, ontario.ca/support for parents, to help get up to $60 per day for your child. And the third thing is that I'm going to work hard at the table to get a deal, to provide predictability so that every child in Ontario is in class so that they can be learning. You know, it's regrettable that the teachers union is rejecting my way of trying to help our families who are having major costs, because childcare, as you know, is expensive on a good day. Imagine finding it with 5 days notice. It's not fair. So they can call it whatever they like. I think it's the right thing to do. And parents should not be financially on the hook because the unions decide not to show up to work. So I think we're doing the right thing. We're putting the money we save when we don't pay the teachers $60 million a day. That's the savings. I'm putting that money back in the pockets of parents. It's a positive thing, and I hope it helps families through this very difficult time.
I think this was an opportunity for the Premier to thank the ethnic media for the great coverage that they give and for the fair coverage that they give, and to understand that ethnic media is so important, not just to government, but to the consumers and everyone out there, to be able to listen, to hear not only what the government's doing, but what's happening around the community and around the world.
We are, as a government, valuing the role the ethnic media plays and the media from ethnic background is playing in delivering our messages to a vast variety of niche Canadian Ontarians who might not be following other mainstream media.
First of all, I'm so happy that all this ethnic media is here, which as a conservative, we're all ethnics are really conservatives if you think about it. We're fiscally conservative. We believe in family. We believe in saving money. These are things that are conservative ideas that the ethnics all believe in. And that's why this is so great to have all the ethnic media here listening to what we stand for and how we support the ethnic community.
ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਥਨਿਕ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਰੋਲ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਨ ਡੇ ਟੂ ਡੇ ਲਾਈਵਸ ਐਂਡ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਮਾਈਨੋਰਿਟੀਜ਼ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਲਚਰਲ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਆ there are roughly 4 million in Ontario. I think ethnic media for the most part is undervalued for the work that they do day to day in terms of communicating the issues that matter to a particular community. Us de naal government policies will be local, provincial or federal. So it's a way to show our appreciation for everything that the ethnic media does on daily basis. You'll hear the Premier speak in a few minutes, but that's the intent.
This event is very special. ਜਦ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਆ ਜਾਣ ਉਹ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਵੈਸੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਜਾਈਏ ਸਾਨੂੰ 10 20 50 ਲੋਕ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ 100 ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ 100 ਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ 1000 ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਮਲਟੀਪਲਾਈ ਕਰੀ ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਿਨੀਮਮ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਪੁਟਿੰਗ ਮੇਬੀ 10,000 ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਮਲਟੀਪਲਾਈ ਕਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਲੱਖਾਂ 'ਚ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ। ਸੋ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਇਜ਼ ਟਰਾਈਂਗ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਲਚਰਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਐਥਨਿਕ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦਿਲ ਜੋੜਨ ਦੀ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਸਰਕਾਰ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਮਾੜਾ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪੱਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੱਜ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਦ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਫ ਜੌਬਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਸਪੈਰਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਈਵਨ ਬਜਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਦ ਬਜਟ ਹੈਜ਼ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ਡ। ਸੋ ਆਲ ਥੀਸ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਵੀ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਗਿਵ ਯੂ ਦ ਰਾਈਟ ਐਂਡ ਐਕਸੈਸ ਟੂ ਟਾਕ ਟੂ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ।
We made a policy to allocate some resources to the ethnic media. We talk about we need a support, but ethnic media needs some resources too. They are not getting the fair share, when I compare to the mainstream media.
That's all from us today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of VNN coverage. Keep watching VNN for more interesting stories. For all the latest news, views and reviews, keep reading Weekly Voice that brings the world to your footstep.